So could you just briefly say kind of what your app is and like what you kind of came here to talk about today?
Yeah, I'm talking about the new Deutsche Welle app, which is mainly a news app. But of course, we have some challenges which are really interesting. We have to cover the whole world in 29 languages, and we always have to keep in mind that the technical aspects are different in all those regions. So we have features like offline mode and text mode. We have something implemented to generate user-generated content, and I think yeah, that's quite interesting to show today. Really an in-depth look into what we're doing, and the app is still in development, so it's not available yet, but we'll be launching soon.
So what's that next step for you guys with launch and going forward?
Well, we are right now in almost the last release process. I mean, we are developing agile, so it's right now the last sprint running for the development team, and it's all about polishing the app and making it really nice and shiny. And in a couple of days, we will be uploading it to the Apple Store, and then it will be reviewed by Apple. And the release process is much more complex on the Apple side than on Android. That we can just upload it, and a couple of hours later, it's available. And yeah, so we have to prepare all those issues. We have to prepare the marketing issues, so to find out what kind of campaigns we're going to start. Every editorial team in the house or in the company has to know that we are going live and how they can feature it and how they make it visible in the program, and that's what we're doing right now.
And we kind of talked about it briefly. What do you think you guys can do to go from beyond just that niche following to really become innovators and something else other people want to follow and kind of innovate from you guys?
I mean, concerning the app, the most important thing, of course, is the content. So, I mean, at the moment, we have an app which is, when it comes to technology, is really bad, but there are still a lot of people who love it because the content is good. So, still, content is king, and of course, it's a question of also effective delivery of the content, and that will be much better with the new app. When you think about an app, you can think of a lot of innovations which would be possible. But the question is really, is the user already ready for those kind of innovation? I mean, you could do things like that the article is scrolling just by detecting your eyes. You could do that. You could increase the font size when the device is shaking because you're on the go, so it's easier to read. You could do that. But at the end of the day, I think nowadays most of the people would be irritated by it because the device would, think that something is happening and the user is out of control. So those kind of technical things would be possible. We thought about it, but we decided not to do it. But what we decided to do is that we will have kind of a beta lab version, whatever, which can be activated by the user. It's not available yet, but that would make those kind of features usable. And we would gain really experiences and feedback from the user by those beta services and technologies.
And what's been the feedback you've gotten so far from users who have tested it out?
Great. I mean, what they love is the most important thing with an app is that one thing I already said is they have to be in control, and the app has to behave in a very native way. I mean, it's a device, it's a very personal device. You touch it with your finger, and you really feel it, and you want the app to behave very well, fluently. Yeah? It has to react in a proper way. You don't want to wait any second. So all those type of things which look simple on the first view, they can really be a showstopper if they don't work properly. So that is important. And what we found out, we did a lot of UX tests, and the people love rich media content. So they love to have articles with galleries inside, videos inside. They don't have to be long, because in most cases, when people use an app, they have not that much time, especially in the morning when they are on the rush to the work. So they only want to have information nuggets. And later on in the evening, they are relaxed on the couch, they use the tablet instead of the smartphone, and they have much more time to use the content, and it can be much longer.
And what were some of you guys' influences for creating this, and kind of who'd you kind of like guys look to in your process?
I mean, as an international public broadcaster, we of course look at what other people are doing. So what is France 24, BBC, Al Jazeera, and so on? What are they doing? And they are competitors actually. But on top of that, every media company in every country is a competitor as well. So we are not looking at everybody because we wouldn't be able to do that. It would take way too much time. But we have a couple of media companies we always have on our radar, and we are taking a look at them and find out what they're doing good and what they're doing bad. But a funny thing is, if you ask people for the app they really like most, they usually just say the media company they use online as well. So I've heard, I mean, the new BBC app is great, but in most other countries they still have the old one, and I have heard very often that they love the BBC app, but it's not because of the app, it's because of the content. Because the app itself is a couple of years old, it's not really good, it's not state of the art anymore, but the content is great, and the people, well, they know that the BBC stands for a certain quality of journalism, and they love it and they use it. So I would go that far that I would say, if the content is right, and if that is right, the content you want to read, it's even more important to have that available than a good technology. So maybe the people would still use BBC if it's just a text app and nothing else.
Possibly.
Yeah.